Never a dull moment for these cardiac Knicks, man. Knicks head into Boston for game 2 of Hell Week, or Rivalry Week, as they call it on TNT, against the number 1 seed in the East, the Boston Celtics. And after an early onslaught of threes by the C's, Julius Randle would rally the troops and settle them into this game. Jalen Brunson picks it up in the second quarter. The Knicks bench would come to play, and by halftime, only down 3. This was a dogfight. And in the third quarter, Jalen and Julius were cooking. The Knicks bench would take over in the fourth, but it would not be that easy as the Celtics come back to bring this thing into overtime. Man, we all expected a crunch time choke job by these Knicks. But Julius, RJ, able to hit their timely shots and timely free throws. Not so much by Jaylen Brown and the Celtics. And the Knicks escape Boston with a 120-117 overtime victory. And as I said, there was a lot to like about this game. Julius continues his hot play as the all-star starters are revealed today. You hope that his name gets called as a reserve in the coming weeks, because he was absolutely cooking Al Horford tonight. Jalen Brunson, Julius Randle combined for 27 points in the third quarter for the Knicks. You had outstanding play once again by the Knicks bench, man, quickly. How about McBride's defensive effort? Even Hartenstein getting in on the defensive action. Obi getting his points. But in crunch time, when the adjustments were made, the Knicks once again had a hard time closing, because Boston, you were wondering when Mazzulla was going to send the double teams at either Jalen or Julius or both, because both of those guys, as I said, in the third quarter, were dominating. And it finally came in the final 5 minutes, and the Knicks could not execute. They got caught in way too much hero ball and isolation. And they were also missing their shot opportunities. You know, the guys outside of Jalen and Julius, but it was too much hero ball. They couldn't execute. They couldn't pass out of the double team, and Boston had them right where they needed them. But the key plays in overtime, man, you had RJ, the unlikeliest of heroes. RJ hitting his corner 3, putting the Knicks up by 1. On the ensuing possession, Jaylen Brown blows right past RJ and gets a layup to put the Celtics up 1. The Celtics would then foul Julius Randle. Julius knocks down his 2 to put the Knicks up 1. And a not-so-smart foul by Jalen Brunson puts Jaylen Brown to the line. And it's Jaylen Brown who chokes and helps get the Knicks to win. So, there it is, man. 120-117 overtime victory. Great win by the Knicks, man. So, you now got 2 good wins this week. One over the Cavaliers, one over the Celtics. A lot of us thought this was going to be a tough week for the Knicks. A lot of you guys had them penciled in 0-3. But you still got to play the games. I talked about Jalen Brunson, Julius Randle's heroics, and give them credit. You know, without these guys, their offensive contribution, especially in the first 3 quarters, the Knicks aren't even anywhere close in this game. But I got to once again go to the Knicks bench, because they are once again a key story in this game in how they played on both ends. Quickly, a great game by Quickly, man. 7-12, 2 of 3 from downtown, 5 rebounds. Was moving the ball, getting steals, getting out in transition. Quickly was electric off the bench. 17 points for Quick. Capitalizing on the great game that he had against the Cavs. I thought McBride's defense was stellar. Stellar. Because, you know, one of the sleeper matchups for me was how the Knicks were going to match up with Malcolm Brogdon, with him coming off the bench, and Peyton Pritchard as well. They got some guards that can attack you off the bench, and the Knicks held it down. They held their own and did a great job.
best win of the season, I would say, because of the opponent. You're on the road, and man, this was probably the first game, I would say. You got a little bit the last game against the Cavaliers, but this was like the first game that you got a playoff feel to it. It was a great experience for
Yeah.
the young players. It was a great experience for the team. Being on the road and being able to get some of that, playoff environment type of feel. You got it all from 4 quarters to an overtime game of runs. You dealt with adversity. You almost lost the game a few times. You had to make free throws. I mean, you talk about everything. The coach had to make adjustments tonight defensively, in terms of defending the 3-point line. This was a legit playoff field type game, and I think that's something that this team can take with them in terms of experience and in terms of confidence for themselves in being able to know that we can go on the road, or we can beat a team of this caliber. Because when you look at the standings and you look at what their potential is, this team is going to try to get some, that 5, 6, 7 seed around there. And we all know if that's where you're going to be headed, you're going to end up playing a tough team in the first round. So this was a great experience for the team. It was a great win. And man, you always say a cardiac Knicks, right?
Cardiac.
We were up double digits, and we seem to always find a way to to make it interesting.
I'm going to start with Sims because he started the game getting completely cooked by Robert Williams, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in the second half, I thought he came out and really adjusted well and started going even. Then he had a game-saving block by the end of it. So shout out him. And Brunson, listen, I'm not going to be critical of Brunson. I think he deserves to be an all-star. It's just when it comes to crunch time, I wish he would facilitate a little bit more.
Yeah.
And there was one specific play with about 2 minutes left when the Celtics were cutting into the lead. It was a 2-point game, and he dribbles up and doesn't look to pass, just takes a contested mid-range jumper. So he's a very talented player, but, that starts with the point guard. And I think we're at our best when the ball is moving and when we're forcing turnovers.
Yeah.
And that goes for RJ too, man. I thought his shot selection was bad.
Terrible
tonight.
Yeah. Wasn't
Awful.
good. Wasn't good.
Yeah. Like his game, he plays with a lot of physicality. Like he draws fouls, and sometimes it works, but when it doesn't, he's just driving in the lane, and it's like he gets tunnel vision or something.
Yeah.
And I saw a stat, a graphic. It looks like RJ is one of the best percentages in the NBA from that like deep left corner where he hit the go-ahead 3. And, I feel like, he plays better within the flow of the offense, than trying to force it. But he hit that 3, and shout out to him with the 2 free throws to put it away.
Yep.
Randall, man, listen, I was on the team trade Randall and give Obi more time. I think a lot of us were, but he's making me eat my words, and he might even be my favorite player now. He's really a rare type of player. And I just love the way he's turned it around, and he's leading this team, especially in time. Lastly, with IQ, man, with IQ, not only should we keep IQ this season, next season, but we should extend him, man. We really, I really think we should, man. What is it, summer 2024 when his contract's up?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a year and a half, man. If you just trade Fournier and Rose, man, give that money to IQ because, like JD said, long term, if we're going to take that next step, he's a starting caliber player we could have off the bench. And I haven't checked this, but I would bet he's probably top 5 on the team in minutes per game, right?
This is a good win. I'm not gonna downplay the win, man. It was a good win. Julius Randle played out of his mind. Listen, you go into Boston, it's hard to win in Boston. The best team in the league, or at least the best. They're the number 1 seed in the East. Now, so it was a good win. But listen, late game executions are still an issue. Like you put length on Brunson, the guy disappears, bro. It's like there's no offensive creativity down the stretch whatsoever. It's my turn, your turn basketball.
Yeah.
In the first quarter, RJ, Brunson, and Randall took every single shot besides one shot. So we were playing 3-on-5 in the first quarter, and we were down by 8 points. Thank God we have Emmanuel Quickly, who's like the most impactful player. And I'm happy people are putting respect on his name because he switched the tempo of the game and everything like that. But listen, I'm not gonna be negative. I'm not gonna be Debbie Downer today. Listen, I could easily be Debbie Downer about what Dolan said and about Begley's mailbag report. How if you just make it to the first round and you lose in the first round, it's okay. It's like we have the lowest expectations out of anything. I know everybody's skydiving today, but I'm closing the window shut. All right, I'm locking the door. All right, I'm not jumping out anywhere. This is one game. Okay, this is one game. 3 days ago or 5 days ago, I called in, and we were ready to tank, and everybody was like ready to put on the fatigues. Now we win 2 games by 1 point each. When we get lucky, two shots, Jalen Brunson misses free throws, and now everybody's jumping out the window, right? So we got to keep like you said, CP, and I know this is a micro show. So in the micro, we're happy. Great win. In the macro, there's some things we have to worry about. And the last thing I'll say before I end this is that my biggest concern right now, to what kind of JD was talking about. First of all, like, who do I want out of all these guys? Like, I don't want any of them. I want the picks, but forget about that. What I'm saying is I don't want this win, this one singular win, really, to change the front office's mind on whether or not they're going to trade draft picks at the deadline to bring a win now player. I don't want the front office to think that we're any closer to a chip just because of one freaking game, and then we actually are. So I agree with I don't know if it was Kumar or the guy before said let's not make any moves. Let's just not make any moves, man. Let's not make any moves. If we win, we win. If we don't, we don't. That's my take. All right, man. Thank you for.
And good show, man. See you guys Saturday. JD, great show. Knicks versus Nets, 3 in a row coming. Let's go. Peace.